All right, what is up? Today's flow is going to be hips and hamstrings, so a lot of lower body, good to do after a lower body workout, when you're feeling stiff, after running. So just go ahead and find your comfortable seat here and face the palms up on the knees, let the shoulders roll down. And think of creating space between your ears and the shoulders here, so letting your neck get a little bit longer, lifting through the crown of the head. And closing the eyes, let the breath start to come in a little bit deeper. Making sure we're sitting right on top of our sit bones here, and that the shoulders are right over the hips. So we're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back, but try to stack yourself right there in the center. Shoulders over the hips, and then head over the shoulders. And then keeping that length, inhale the arms up and overhead, find a prayer, and then bringing that prayer down to your heart. And just connecting to this place of center here for a moment. Lower body work is something that really roots us to a sense of groundedness, connects us to the earth. It's literally the thing walking us throughout our day, connecting us to the ground, and building some fire or just even focusing on the lower body can bring this sense of center and rootedness. And so with that intention today in mind, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, let it go. Hands come to the knees, open the eyes, and let's just start to move through the center here. Inhale, reaching the heart forward. Exhale, grounding yourself back, and keep moving through like that. And then circling around the other way. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rounding back. Good. And coming to center. Take the hands behind you, feet in front of you, and let's rock the knees from right to left, side to side. Good. And next time the knees fall to the right, keep them there and twist around to the right. So the left hand's gonna come to the right knee. Now make sure this hip isn't lifted up. You wanna be driving that left hip down towards the ground as you spiral back. Good. And coming to center and over to the other side, dropping the knees to the left and then taking the right hand to the left knee. Make sure this right hip isn't lifted, but it's grounded down to the floor. And then twisting back from there. And slowly coming back to center. We're gonna cross right ankle over the left knee here. So figure four. Now if you're tight in the legs, hang back a little bit in the arms, or even take the legs a little bit further in front of you, and that's going to be a little bit less intense. If you're feeling a little bit more open, you can walk the hands a little bit closer to the lower back. Either way, think of pushing your heart forward towards the shin, and I want you to flex your foot here. So don't let the ankle be like limp and weak. Keep that ankle strong. That's going to keep this knee a little bit safer, okay? So pressing the heart forward, take a deep breath in. And then gently we're gonna drop this whole figure four over to the left. So the right foot's gonna find the ground, and then the left elbow is gonna wrap around that right knee. Now again, make sure this hip isn't lifted. Drop that hip down, center the hips there, and then right arm comes back behind you and look back over that right shoulder. Good. Still engaging slightly here through the abs, each exhale spiraling back. And bringing your torso to center. Keep the left leg where it is, right leg opens wide out to the side, and then you can hug this foot in more towards that inner thigh. Right hand, right shin, left arm reaches up and over towards the right toes. Make sure you're not caving in on yourself here, but you're staying open, even looking underneath that left armpit for a second. If you need to bend the knee a little bit, you can, that's all good too. Try not to be too crunched here. Think of lengthening long, keeping that shoulder down out of the ear. Good, coming up, stargazer. This left hand's gonna come behind you, and then press onto the left hand and the left knee, push the hips forward, and lean the heart back. Breathe in, and slowly coming down here. Nice job, feet to the floor. We're gonna lift the hips up off the ground, inhale. And exhale, lower down. Nice job. Okay, left ankle over the right knee, figure 4. And same thing, if you're tight, widen the shape a little bit. If you're a little bit more open, bring it a little bit closer in. Okay, either way, heart pressing forward towards that shin. Keep this left foot flexed and keep length in the spine, right? No rounded shoulders, no slouched lower backs, and just breathing into that outer left hip. Inhale. And then let's drop this whole shape over to the right. Foot finds the ground, and then right elbow wraps around the left knee. Again, no hiked up hips. Drop the left hip down, center in the lower body, and then spiraling from the torso. Good. Slight engagement of the core here. And coming back to center, taking this left leg out to the side, and then bringing this right foot in closer towards the inner thigh. Left hand, left shin. Right arm reaches up and over towards that toe. Make sure the shoulder's not up in the ear, but the shoulder's still plugging down your back. And from that sense of connection, reach a little bit further from there. Good. And coming up, take the right hand behind you, stargazer, press up onto the right hand and the right knee, breathe in, and slowly lowering down, feet in front of you, lifting up through the hips, inhale, and exhale, lower down here, crossing the ankles, making your way onto hands and knees. So I'm gonna turn sideways for you here. And let's just start to move through the cat-cow. So inhale, arching the back and looking up. And then exhale, rounding the back and looking down. And trying to ripple through the spine here like it's a wave, rather than just moving as one piece. From the lower back, think of moving through each individual joint a little bit more. Good. On your next exhale, we're gonna press back child's pose. Take the hands a little bit wider. And then inhale, come forward, drop the hips down and lift up. And then exhale, sending the hips back, child's pose. 2 more like that. Inhale, coming up, drop the hips forward, lift the heart up. And exhale, hips back to the heels. And 1 more coming up, hips drop down, inhale. And exhale, hips go back, child's pose here. Good. Rolling up onto hands and knees. We're gonna bring the right knee forward towards that right wrist. Keep it up off the ground. Circle it open to the side. And then turn that knee down towards the ground, foot up towards the ceiling. And then bring that knee back forward. 1 more like that, bring it forward. Circle out to the side. Internally rotate that knee down. And then bring the knee back to center. Reverse it. Take that right leg up. Open that leg out to the side. Circle it forward towards that right wrist. And then back to center. And then lift up. Open out to the side. Circling that knee forward. And then bringing it back down. Now send the right toes back behind you. Tuck through the toes here. And then just push forward and back through that heel. Good. And then finding a moment to pause here, pressing through the heel. We're gonna kickstand this left foot out to the side, back behind you a little bit. Spin the right heel down and lift the right arm up. Good. And then from here, we're gonna lift that right leg up off the ground. Find some stability here. Pull those abs in, breathe in. And then take the right hand to the ground and step this right foot up wide outside the right hand. Now you can adjust the stance here. So I want this to be a wide stance, so you're not here with the hips over the knee, but you're letting those hips melt forward and pressing them towards the ground. My front knee is over this front heel. My toes can even lift up from there a little bit. Good. Take a few circles around in the hip. And then taking those circles around the other way. Good. Keeping the left hand down, bring the right hand inside this right knee. Now roll open to the edge of that right foot, to that pinky toe edge, and then push the knee away from me with that right hand and lean back a little bit through the chest there. Good. And slowly coming back to center. Hands frame the foot here, so walk that foot to center, and then just stepping back to a plank. Take a deep breath in, and then a deep breath out, lower the knees down, and press the hips back, child's pose. Good. And rolling yourself up to hands and knees. We're gonna bring that left knee forward towards the left wrist, circle it open, internally rotate the knee down, foot up, and then bring the knee back down and forward. Circle it open, keeping those hips still, knee down, foot up, and then bring it back in, and then reverse it. Leg up, open that knee out to the side, circle it forward, and bring it down. One more, lifting up, circle that knee open, bring it forward, and down to center. Send the left toes back behind you, tuck through them, and press forward and back a few times here, stretching out through the calf. And then finding a moment to pause and hold it there. Good. And letting this right foot kickstand back behind you to the right, spin the left heel down, lift this left arm up. Make sure you're not sinking in that shoulder, but you're lifting high. Now left leg lifts up, and then take a big step wide outside of that left hand. Hands inside of the leg here. Adjust the stance so you're pretty wide. And then let's circle in the knees or in the hips. Good. And circling around the other way from here. Now keeping the right hand down, taking the left hand inside of this left knee, roll open to the outer edge of this left foot, so onto that pinky toe side, and then keep pushing that knee open as you lean back away from it. Good. Deep breath in, and slowly coming back to center. Foot in between the hands, tuck the back toes, step to plank, breathe in, and child's pose, knees down, hips pressing back. And tucking the toes, down dog. Send the hips up high, bend the knees here, and really focus on that extension of the back. So if the knees are straight but your back is rounded, that's defeating the purpose, right? Bend, release the hamstrings a little bit, and let your heart fall through the knees. And then once you have that length, then you can start to pedal through the heels, maybe even straightening both legs. But if the spine rounds, ease back into that bend, right? Good. Right leg lifts up high, down dog split. Keep the leg high, open up that hip. So rather than squaring the hips, let the right hip open a little bit. And then we're gonna bend that right heel, or the right knee, like we're dropping the right heel towards the left hip. Make sure you're pressing into that left arm and not collapsing into the shoulder. Now, bringing the knee to your nose, stepping through the hands here, and we're gonna lift up into a high lunge. Good. Now from here, interlace those hands behind the back and just roll open through the shoulder for a moment. And then straightening through the front leg. And then bowing forward, release the hands towards the ground. Both legs nice and straight here. You can hop this back foot in. Make sure the hips aren't skewed out to the side. Pull that right hip back and then plug that left hip forward. So the hips are even and you're reaching the spine long from there. Your hands can come on top of blocks, books, something that makes it a little bit more accessible to you, right? Good. From here, warrior one. So we're gonna bend this right knee, spin the back heel down, even take it a little bit wider out to the side, toes angled forward slightly, and we're gonna lift up into a warrior one. Good, again, right hip back, left hip forward, and just squaring from there. Good. And from there, hands to the ground, step back to plank, breathe in, and down dog as you breathe out. Nice job. Left leg up, keep the leg high, open up that hip now and bend that left knee, left heel drops towards the right hip. Keep pressing strong in this right hand. Breathe in, and then extend the legs, stepping through the hands, high lunge, arms up. Good, centering yourself in those legs here. Tailbone under slightly. Now interlace the hands behind you, other thumb on top, and drive the fist back. Straightening out through the front leg, breathe in. And then releasing the hands to the ground and folding over. Now you can hop this back foot in a little bit. Again, make sure the hips aren't opening. Pull the left hip back and the right hip forward, and then lengthening your heart towards your toe from there. Good. From here, opening into warrior one. So we're gonna bend the front knee, hop this right foot out to the right a little bit, toes angled forward, that heel is down, and then lift the arms up from here. Left hip still pulling back, right hip still pushing forward. I'm just pausing for a moment. Abs in, lifting through the fingertips. Inhale. And hands to the ground. Step back to plank. Breathe in. And down dog, hips high. All right, one more round standing. Right leg up, breathe in. Bend that knee, open up that hip. Good. And then we're gonna bring the knee in towards the nose and step through. High lunge, arms up. Good. Interlace those hands behind you, shoulders back. And now we're gonna go right into warrior one. So to spin that back heel down and then bow forward, devotional warrior. So head down, fist up. Now make sure those hips aren't open again. Right hip is plugging back, left hip is plugging forward. If you need to take a wider stance, so left foot more out to the left, you can do that here. Good. And release the hands down. And then coming up, warrior one. Straightening through that front leg, lean back. Good. We're gonna open into triangle pose. So open your body towards the left. Take the right arm forward and then down to the ground here. It can also come onto your shin or onto a block. Just make sure you aren't pushing on the knee joint, okay? Now sometimes the hips tend to stay back behind us here. I want you to really scoop that right hip back under you and unravel the crown of the head forward over that toe. Breathe in. And releasing the hand down. Standing split just for a second. Shift the weight forward. The hands can walk forward. Maybe this camera here a little bit more there. Good. And here we're squaring the hips. So we're not opening, but we're squaring. You can actually take a few rounds playing with it like that. So opening the hip, just to feel the difference. Opening the hip, and then squaring the hip. And let's take one more. Open the hip, and square the hip. Good, low lunge, step to plank, and back to down dog. All right, last round, left leg up, breathe in. Keep the leg high, bend that knee. And then bringing the knee to your nose, stepping all the way through. High lunge, arms up. Good. Interlace those hands behind you. Shoulders back. Now we're gonna go right into warrior one. So to spin that back heel down, but keep the toes angled forward slightly, and then devotional warrior, bow it forward. Head down, fist up. My hips are square, left hip pulling back, right hip pulling forward. Good. And releasing the arms down, lifting up, warrior one. We're gonna straighten out through this front leg, lean back a little bit. Now open your body towards the right, left arm reaches forward, and right arm reaches up. Good, if coming all the way to the ground is too much, shin, block, even hand on the thigh is okay, just not on the knee there, all right? Again, make sure the butt's not sticking back behind you. Scoop that left hip under so the hips are driving back towards the back heel, crown of the head is reaching forward over the front toes. Breathe in. And low lunge, bend the knee, both hands down. We're gonna shift the weight forward, standing split. Good. Now from here, we're gonna open that hip up and then square the hip down. So working on this external, internal rotation. Two more, open the hip and square the hip. And last one, open it up and square it down. And low lunge, Good, step to plank, breathe in. And down dog, hips high. All right, making our way towards the ground. Right leg's gonna come up. This time we're gonna bend the knee forward, circle it open out to the side, internally rotate the knee down, foot up, and then bring the knee back forward. One more going that direction, knee out, knee in, knee down, and then reverse it, leg up, knee open, circle that knee forward, bring it in, one more, leg up, knee open, knee forward, now pigeon. So pull that right knee forward outside the right hand, and then adjust the hips back. Now, if the hips are up high, slide a pillow, block something underneath of you to catch those hips so you can release into it a little bit more. This foot does not need to be 90 degrees. This shin can definitely kind of cross at more of an angle, that's fine. But squaring the hips, making sure we're not sinking onto one side, right? Breathe in, and when you're ready, you can walk forward and relax over those legs. Good. Each and every exhale, release a little bit more. Let the shoulders go, let the jaw go. Let the hips get heavier and heavier. Good. And slowly walking back up to the hands, down dog. So tuck the back toes, lift that knee, and then just step the right foot back to meet the left. All right, left leg up. And then we're gonna bring the knee forward, circle it open, turn that knee in and down, and then bring it back forward. One more that way, knee forward, open, in, and down, and then reverse it, leg up, knee open, bring it forward, and in, one more, up, open, bring it forward, and then pigeon pose from there. So left knee comes outside the left wrist, and then adjust the right hip back, right? Again, block, pillow, anything can catch that left hip if it's too high up in the air. Otherwise, settle into those hips, not off to the side, but centered. And then when you're ready, walk yourself forward. Again, letting the neck and the head go. Each exhale, finding a little bit more release here. And slowly walking back up to the hands. Tuck the back toes, lift that knee, down dog, hips high. And then exhale, child's pose, knees down, hips press back. We're gonna roll up onto the knees here, sit off on one side, swing the legs around in front of you, and we're gonna take feet together, knees open, sit tall, and then exhale, bowing over the legs. Good. Think of lengthening out of that low back, pulling the heart forward towards the toes. And slowly coming up, extending those legs out to the side. Making sure you're still sitting tall on the sit bones. Even the tailbone can even be moving like back behind you a little bit so you're not rounding under. You're sitting tall. Arms out to the side, right hand, right shin, left arm reaches up and over. Make sure this left hip doesn't lift. Keep that left hip rooted down as you reach up and over. And coming up, breathe in, and over to the left. Left hand down, right arm up and over. That right hip doesn't lift, but it stays rooted to the floor. And coming up, breathe in, reaching those arms forward, and then down to the ground. Trying to keep the spine as long as possible here, so pulling the heart through the shoulders rather than contracting in on yourself here, right? Lengthen. And coming up, take the hands behind you and just turn to the right and to the left. So right foot opens, left toes turn in, and then left toes open, right toes turn in. One more, over to the right, and over to the left. Good. And slowly bringing those legs forward in front of you, reaching the arms forward and making your way all the way down, bending your knees here. And we're gonna drop the right knees, or both knees, over to the right. Now you can stay right here. If you want more and it does not feel bad on the knee, you're gonna take this right foot and just put it right on top of that left thigh and use that to bring the knee closer towards the floor. If this feels bad in the knee, forget it, all right? Flexing the feet helps to keep the knee safe here. And I want you to tuck the tailbone under slightly, and that's gonna put more stretch in that left thigh. Good. And slowly releasing, and over to the other side. Knees fall to the left. We either stay here or take the left foot on top of the right thigh, pushing that knee towards the ground, keeping the feet flexed and the tailbone under slightly. Good. And coming back to center, hug both knees in, and then cross right ankle over the left here. Hands grab around that left thigh through this hole here created by the legs, and just pull that shape towards you. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, extend the left heel up towards the ceiling, flexing through that heel to bring a little bit more activation to the calf. And rebending the left knee, and switch it out. Left ankle over the right knee, grabbing around the right thigh, pulling that shape close, extending that right heel up if you did so on the other side, flexing through the heel. And rebending the knee. Unravel the legs, hands on the knees, circle open and close, open and close, and then circle around the other way. Close and open, close and open. Grabbing behind the thighs and rock yourself up to a seat. And just sit here for a moment, closing the eyes, palms facing up. And again, stacking shoulders over the hips, head over the shoulders. And moving through the rest of your day, feeling a little bit more grounded, centered, connected to your own body, connected to the ground beneath you, and knowing you can always come back to this focus on the lower body to feel that sense of groundedness. Bringing the hands to prayer at your heart, and taking a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. With love and light. Namaste. Thank you for hanging out today. Hope that helps you feel a little bit looser, and I'll see you soon.